So go to K2, type name. Let's just put in some few names, maybe first names, it's all right. Say John, Victor, Dennis, Nyambe, Shashun, Banda, Tembo, Kola, Sakara, Benda, Juna, just type those names. Okay. Then let's type what's a province code? What's a town code? So we'll say 100, 112, 400, 315, 413, 265, 505, 6.5, 10, 117, 888, 717, 902, 3, 820, 915, 367, 4 Let me know when you're done.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, done. Okay. I don't know where the rest of the members are. I'm sure that they're tired. It's all right. I'll find the video. So, these are town codes. But using the codes, like we use the country codes 10101, we are able to sort the data and know that this code is for Zambia, this code is for Zimbabwe, this code represents whatever, whatever, and whatever. So we are using the town codes, and what we first have to do is to create a mapping to understand the codes, these town codes, so that we understand where are these towns coming from, or where are they positioned, which province can we find these towns. So we need to come up with a mapping table. So here I would say any from 0 to from 0 to 199, for example, it is Southern Province. $199 plus 1. From 200 to 299, it is Wahai, Western Province. From 300 to 399, it is Lusaka Province. From 400 to 499 is Central Province. From 500 to 599 is Copperbelt Province. From 600 to 699 is Northwestern Province. From 700 to 799 is Umawa, Eastern Province. From 800 to 899 is Luapula, Liverpool, Luapula Province. From 900 to 999, and we'll say Northern Province. Let me know when you're done. That. Are you done?
Yes, yes, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. So then we want to actually map. This could be our employees or our customers. So we want to map these customers to the provinces so that we will be in a better position to count how many customers are, for example, in Southern Province, how many are in Copper Belt. So we develop a short model to show that the number of customers that we have in a specific region, in a specific province, these are the numbers. It just helps us in data analytics just to analyze. So here now we are actually going to show the province. We are going to show the province. So this data did not come with the province, but it didn't have a column on the province or provinces for specific customers, and it didn't have that column. But we want to have that column because that is going to help us in further analyzing the data. The more we break down the data, we get to understand it, and it gives us some insights that management can use to come up with decisions that are based on an unfounded or unresearched analysis. Most of the time, it is disastrous. So from our system, whether you're using Sun system, Oracle, Vestel, or whatever system that you have, it only provides two columns. You have the name that could be for your customers or employees, then you have the town code. So we want to get the province. We cannot use VLOOKUp. VLOOKUP is not going to give us the data that we want. It's practically not going to give us the data that we want. If here I say, okay, I use VLOOKUP, I do like this, I'll be lucky to find one. I do like this. I just want to show you. I go there. Then I say 3. Right, 0. It's not going to give me anything. I'll be lucky to find something that makes sense. You see? Yeah, so if I go there, I do even 4. Since I want to find the province, I'll do like this. It's only shows central province. This is the only one that is matching. It's the only one that is matching. The rest, there's nothing. So we are not going to do that. So what we are going to do here is going to be quite interesting. Let's name this. So let's name this table. I like the whole table. Let me know if you have done that.
Yes. I like it.
Okay. We could go to, when in naming ranges, cells, or whatever, we'd go to P3, or we could go to formulas. We go to the name manager, or we could do right click. I think I've shown you this trick of right clicking. Just right click like this.
Yeah, right.
So I've shown you this of going to define name. Let's use another method now. Let's go to formulas. From formulas, we go to define name, because we want to define the name. On name manager, when we have, say, we have a worksheet that already has names, defined names. You can still change parameters, you can delete and what. So we'll go to define name. So here we're going to call it province. Just type in the name, just type province, it's all right, province. And I'm deliberately trying to name the ranges for a specific reason, being that in intermediary, that is where you'll be taught on advanced Excel. So on advanced Excel, I think I'll be forced to look at referencing. If it's not here, I think I'll be forced to look at referencing. Maybe it is still in the basic. No, it is actually, I have to put it under the intermediary. So now we have named this province. We don't want to go back there when we start stringing our formulas. So we'll go to province and we'll go to M3. Go to M3. So under M3, we are going to enter a formula, say equals lookup. So just come, then do Control A, then press OK. Because there are two lookup formulas. There's the one that is actually looks at the vectors, then the other one looks at the array. Just ignore the one that looks at the arrays. Press OK. So you have opened, it has three vectors. But like I told you last time, when you open a functional argument box, the syntax arguments that are in bold, they are mandatory. Whereas the one that is grayed out is not mandatory. So you need to know what will be the repercussion if you don't include it. If you include it, what would be the result? Would the result be different from a scenario where you don't include it? So you have to look at all those issues. So the lookup value, in this case, if any lookup value is more or less like a criteria, it's always, you always get it from one cell, not a range, but in a cell. So in this case, we're actually picking 100. You want to fish out this 100. In which province does this town code, or this town code, it represents which province, or it is in which province? So we go to L3, that is the lookup value. Then the lookup vector. And I'll show you two methods of how to use this. The lookup vector, we just pick, because the moment you pick the whole range like we did the province, then all you're actually saying is the last the last column in your range, that is what is going to be your result vector. And that is your output. And that is how I do it. I know you can go, you can look at the first one, then go to the result vector down there. I'll show you all that. Don't worry. So here we are going under lookup vector. We're going to type province. Remember that we named that range province, so we're going to type province. Just type province. Let me know once you're done.
Okay, I'm done.
If you have named it wrongly, check on the output. If the output here is blank, meaning that what you have typed in the lookup vector, that range does not exist, that name. It does not represent any range, otherwise you're going to show it on the output. For example, if I make a mistake on this province, I make a mistake in this province, instead of, I forgot to put an E. It will show that there is nothing really. It has brought in those inverted commas, assuming that maybe I have hard coded the lookup vector, but it doesn't just make sense. And it is going to show you down on the output, the final output is going to show you an error. So that is not what we want to do. Here we have province and we got it right. So type province, as long as it gives you the output which you are able to relate with, because this output, it shows that we are actually starting with the first 0 here. There's also 0 in between because it's blank, it's a blank column. Then it actually takes us to the numbers this side. Then takes us to the first one, which is the southern province. Then we go to the second one, which is 200, again 0 to 99. So it has arranged this data in a more logical way. So we can just leave it there. That's it with this particular function. Press OK.
So is this case sensitive?
Hello? No, it is not case sensitive. No, we can do like this. Just see. It is not case sensitive. I don't think it is. It's not. You have seen. It's not case sensitive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we can press OK.
Okay.
Now that you have this, you can drag it down, or you take your cursor and it gives you an hourly dark, what they call hourly glass, that cross. Then you double click and it takes you down. So you can try and verify, and this is going to give you that. For example, if we check on Ketiwe, it shows 900 here that he lives or she lives in the town, which is called the 902. So we can see that this is Northern Province, is between 900 and 999. If we go, for example, to Nyambe, town code is 315. We check between 300 to 399. This is Lusaka Province. We can just try to fact check, just to check whether the formula is effective. This, we normally use it in different ways, especially people that are in finance. You know, depending on the organization that one works for. Some organizations, they have a lot of data. This world currently is generating data at almost every second, every millisecond. And this data has to be interpreted by finance specialists, by engineers, by marketers. Different types of people have to analyze this data. Hello, we are getting you there. So you find that these professionals, they analyze a lot of data. I remember when I was a project accountant, data that I used to analyze could go to almost 900,000 rows of data. But there are certain columns that will not be certain set of data that you need, and it is not part of the original data that you're getting from the system. So you have to include certain things. I'll give you an example where you extract the trial balance. This trial balance, it has the BU code, it has maybe the business unit code, it has the cost center code, it has the account code, and maybe the account description, but doesn't have the report line. It doesn't have the business unit description to show you that this is the business unit, the description of this business unit is this and that and that. The cost center, basically, which is a department, doesn't have. So you look at all those codes, you map them because you have a mapping a mapping sheet like what we have done here. So in this case, we are saying we did not have this data, the province, and we needed, after we've extracted this data from the database, we needed to, for us to do further analysis, we needed to know the cells as per divisions, as per directories, as per province, and this is what we have done. The other method, we'll say method 1, then we go to method 2. So here we can do like this. Let's name this range. Just please highlight and we name the range. If you have highlighted, we can use another method to name the range. There's a name box here. So we can call it code, type code and press enter, type code and press enter. In the name box.
The define names.
I went directly here under the name box. Are you able to see my cursor? Check where my cursor is going. Are you able?
Yes.
Then I went in here and named it. Just going. That is called the name box.
Oh, just in there. Oh, okay.
And press enter.
I just name it. Oh, just name it as a code?
Yeah, just type code because those are codes. Just type code. If you want to have 2 words, if you want to say town code, then you type town. You don't leave any space down there. You can put an underscore, whatever it is, then you type code. Otherwise, it's not going to accept. So then we'll do the same in column S where we have the towns.
Column S.
So there as well, we can name this. Let's just name it. We can name it, since we have named, we have already a name for the province that we have already defined. Let's name it region. Just region.
Oh, okay.
Let's just name it region and press enter. So we have code and we have region. So, under method 2, still using the same formula, the same function, lookup. It's a very good function, trust me. Say equals lookup, we'll do the same thing. And we'll open it like this. Now, watch what we're going to do. So I will use all the three syntax arguments in here. We are going to use them. First, we'll start with the lookup value, which is basically the L3. Then we'll go to the lookup vector. The lookup vector will pick the code, so you type code, which will be just basically numbers. Then the result vector, we are going to type region. That's it. Then you can choose which one works for you. So the more we develop these skills in Excel, we'll have less problems when we start looking at financial modeling. We'll have less work, trust me. We just have to continue improving ourselves. So press OK. Then you can choose, Alfred, you can choose which method you want to pick. And you can see that they are aligned. If they are not aligned with method 1, then we will know that you have made a mistake somewhere. Just check if they are not aligned. Tell me that they are not aligned.
They are aligned.
Sure, thank you. Then you can use this same function for discounts, the things that we were dealing with last time on discounts. On the pay as you earn, you use a lookup value, it works well. I'll show you on the I'm sure you saw that data on the pay as you earn. We are told from 0 to what? From 0 to 3,300?
Yes.
Which is 0%. Let's just type that. Then from
the 201 but 800
to
1
to 3
241
to 41, which is 25%, right?
Yes.
Then to what?
Then to
60.
62.
Okay, which is 30%.
30%.
Then anything above what? 62, isn't it?
Yes.
So anything above, okay, I'll put a 6201. Anything above or equal to, I'll do like this.
Yes.
Which should be 35%.
37.5.
Huh? Oh, 37. Why do I always keep on saying 35%? 37.5%. Oh my God.
Yes.
And just okay. Now you will see how quickly, if we were to calculate, come up with a percentage. Here I would say, obviously, because we're not looking at advanced Excel, we'll be looking at those things. I've structured this program nicely. We want to check if someone is getting a salary of, say, salary of 4,000. What is the last band in terms of the percentage? So now observe let's do it together. We are going to use this method lookup. We are not going to waste time
Okay.
on the lookup. So use the method lookup. So we'll say equals lookup. Then do Control A and press OK. You have this. So on the lookup value, obviously we pick the salary, which is 4,000. Just pick it. Then we go to the lookup vector. We go to the lookup vector. So with the lookup vector, we'll pick the whole range here, this whole thing. Let's pick the whole thing. Or we could name it. We could name it tax Let's name it tax table. It's just important to develop that culture. Let's just name this as tax table. Or we call it, yeah, let's name it. Don't leave some space if you're doing that. Okay, let's just go to the define name.
Okay.
We can do like this. We can go to define name. Let's just call it tax table. Tax underscore table. Otherwise, it is not going. If I type like this, tax table is a can. If I type like this, is a can. So I don't need to leave space.
Oh, okay.
So it's it tax.
Okay.
Then underscore table or whatever, as long as you don't leave some space in between. So tax table. Press OK. So we can now go to the under the last band, the one that we want to find as a percentage. So say equals lookup so the lookup value, we pick the 4,000 there. The lookup vector, we say tax table, tax underscore table. Always check. If you haven't done it correctly, it's going to give you, it's going to show you the other side that there's nothing that you've done. It will be blank. So we'll say tax table. Just that, then we're done. Yeah.
Yeah, it got down.
Yeah, you press OK. The most important thing is to check on the output here. If the output is there, then it's OK. So you press OK. Change that to a percentage. You can even put some decimals like this. So just check, it will show you that that the salary of 4,000, the last band, it fits under 333 and 41. If you keep on changing, you can change this, for example, to 8,000. It should show that the last band is the 7.5. To change to 3,200. It will show that it's in the first band. If you change to 4,200, it will show it to the 30%. So you can use the lookup value in this particular area. You can also use it if you are dealing with discounts and all these other things. You can use it to bring in, like what we are doing, getting the provinces and all these other things. You can do that. With VLOOKUP, you saw what we did. With VLOOKUP, we can do what we have done here, but then we need to make sure that on the exact match we leave it true or we ignore the component there. In Excel, we say that true is not text, true is 1 and false is 0. So if you check, I say banda here, and I ask Excel equals, are you text? Is text? Excel is going to tell me, yes, I'm a text, sir, it's true. But if I type true here, it's going to say, no, I'm not text, because true represents 1. So if I say,
What?
equals true plus true, it should be able to give me 2 because that is not text. Interesting, huh? These are things, I have seen they have advertised some of these online courses in financial modeling, whatever. There's nothing much that people will learn from there. What it is, they'll give them templates and they'll not see a live lesson to be videos, and they'll give them templates already done. But here you are developing your own things, and we are going to create your own templates which work for you in your specific organization. So my course is more superior than those things that you've seen there. So let's move on. Any questions up to there?
Let's get and then we develop a scheme.
Yeah. because the most important thing is to develop a skill, and you cannot develop a skill if somebody gives you templates. You have to start from the scratch.
Okay. I'm following. I think it. Yeah.
Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. These are skills that you should immediately go and deploy. You just download all these videos, my videos, then you just deploy it.
And interesting.
Okay. So now we can go through the example that I've done. Here it's basically on the tax code. You know the advantage. The advantage with this phone here, things are not supposed to be just in order. The things are not in order. As long as the ranges are the same, it's always intelligent to know that these things, I should match them like this. And they're going to see the example that we are going to look at here. Here we want to find the rate for the tax code B. So definitely with what we have done already at this side, we say we look up. Look up for A. So it's okay. So we start with the tax code, which is the tax code in A3. When we put the tax code there, we are told lookup vector. So we pick this. That's what we did. This was a lookup vector. So the result vector, there plus the one that you want to, where you want to get the results from. So the results will be picked from this range. So we'll do like this. Then we press open. So it shows B is on 15%. Since I'm alone now. Okay. So
I lost the connection.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let me just restart. I'm saying equals lookup. So if I don't want to open that function argument box on top, I can just, I know that what is in bold now is what I should enter, which is the lookup value. So I know that the lookup value is in A3. So comma, then takes me to the lookup vector. So the lookup vector, it is this code, which I pick like this. Then comma, it takes me to the result vector, which I pick again like that, and it ends here, 15%. But there's a possibility that these may not be, the codes may not be in the same range, same position. So you can see the way it is, this, as long as it will so much that this 5% is for A, or A is for 5%, B is for 15, E is for 47. It's going to match it like this. So say equals, again, lookup. Sorry. Okay. So what is the lookup value? The lookup value is in A14, which is C14. Then the lookup vector is this tax code. Then the result that we want is what we are calling as a result vector, which we pick from here. And we change, do like that. So if I change C to B, it will give me 15%. If I change it to D, it will be 42%. I change it to E, it will be 47%. The problem with this particular function, it does not say no. It doesn't say it does not know. It doesn't show some ignorance, if you know it is ignorant. So if you know it is ignorant, this is meaning that any code that you're actually going to put outside E, from A to E,
yes,
it is going to assume that it is E. it's not going to say, no, not applicable. It doesn't know the not applicable.
Oh, okay.
So if we take it to Y, it will still be 47. You take it to Z, it will still be 47. You bring it to A, it takes you there. So you need to know. And they have to be arranged in a reasonable, in a logical way. So if, for example, here, this was C, this was C, this was F, then this was H. If I do like this, I go to H. So it has assumed what is there under H. If I go to C, so it's basically looking at the arrangement, the way these things are arranged. The way your data is arranged, then it assumes that that is how it's going to be. You can have this data in any way. You could have this data sitting like this, or if I get this, let me just transpose it. It is a very, very intelligent. Transpose this. So if I transpose it like that, it will still see. It's very intelligent. I can say equals lookup. I open that. Lookup value. I have to be there. The lookup vector, I can get this, even if they are not in the same direction. Very interesting function. Then I go like that. It's so stupid. That's B, so to assume that B is 15%. If I take it to C, it is 35. If I take it to E, it is 47. So, in the way this data is arranged, you can say lookup. Okay. So say the lookup value, that is where we have the 8 and 7. Then pick like this. I like this function, I like it so much. So if it says E here, if it's A, it's 5%. Let me even just change this part into percentages. If it's B, it will be like this. Any questions?
Yeah, no questions so far. It's interesting.
Yeah, so you have to go and practice. We'll do a video. I'll do a video. It will be out soon. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that the whole team today, unless they pretend that they didn't see my program or the Zoom invitation. So tomorrow we'll look at these average sum ifs. The other day pivot tables. So by today's what? Today's
Monday. 15.
Today's Monday. We've lost track. So by Wednesday, I think we'll be done with the basic Excel. We'll go into intermediate Excel as well. We are going to do maybe for 1 week and some few days. Then we're going to advanced. Then we're going to financial modeling. Yeah. So I'll just advise you that you'll go through all these things that we've done. Next week, there'll just be a mini exam on the basic before we go into intermediate. There'll be an online exam on basic Excel, which I call basic Excel. But you've seen it's not basic Excel, but that's what I call basic Excel. Sure. So thank you so much. And I know I have a very rough period. Before I go for work, I have a class at 5:30, imagine. So 5:30 I will be seated here and having a class in iPhone 16. It's quite busy, yeah. Okay, thank you so much and have a lovely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.